I was told that if I wanted to fly, I had to read. There's only one problem. I hate reading. So, what am I supposed to do about that? Well, that's quite simple. You read less. Or more specifically, you read smart. What's good, people? Agent Juice reporting for duty. When I started my flight training, I was given 3 important books. The Far Aim, of course. The Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge. And of course, the Operator's Manual for your training aircraft in question. In my case, it is the Piper Cherokee Warrior PA-28-151. And you know, that's great and all. I mean, that's quite obvious. You need all that in order to be a good pilot. But let me tell you, man, when I first saw the size of these tomes, my first thought was like, yeah, no. Surely they didn't really expect me to read all that crap. And in a way, they kind of don't. You don't necessarily have to read everything all at once. So in my own flight training, which I must make a disclaimer, I'm not entirely through yet. I'm still in the middle of doing my private pilot's license. I kind of want to share a little bit of insights as to how I tackled these big fat books from a perspective of someone who really hates reading through textbooks. Firstly, let's go ahead and talk about the Far Aim. Now, despite the mighty girth of this book, I found it by far the easiest one to tab. And the reason why is because since this is the regulation handbook, all of the regulations are broken down very meticulously, which is quite helpful. So they have this lovely little section where they show you all the regulations that you should know. So already that cuts down a good chunk of that book for now. Now, that being said, even though they have chunked it down quite nicely, that's still a lot of regulations that I have to get through. But I found, for me at least, that the best way to start getting through those tabs was actually the pre-solo test that my flight instructor gave me. That allowed me to kind of really concentrate on the first bits of the Far Aim, and really the first bits of all 3 of the books that I should really concentrate on. So that was a really great beginning stepping stone. Next up, we have the P-hack, or as I like to call it, the FAC. This book is kind of nice because unlike the Far Aim, as you can see, it has a year on it. The Far Aim is updated yearly, whereas this one kind of stays where it's at. This edition, I think, is actually the 2016 edition, so clearly they think it's good enough for the year of our Lord, 2023. And it is divided into chapters. There are a grand total of 17 chapters. But the thing is, in this book, I tabbed once again using my pre-solo written test that was given to me by my flight instructor. I don't doubt that eventually I'm going to have to memorize this thing front to back, but it gave me small chunks that I can start to use practically as I am going through my training, and that was really great. And last, we come to, of course, the operator's manual for your specific aircraft. Now, this one may be the skinniest, but let me tell you, it is my least favorite, and the reason why specifically is because of the V-speeds. The V-speeds in the aircraft that you are flying are all of the air speeds at which your plane can operate safely. You have VS, you have VX, VY, VFE, VA, VNO, VNE, blah, 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 blah. The problem is in this manual, these V-speeds are all over the place. Not only are they all over the place, but some of them are written in miles per hour instead of knots. There wasn't this nice list of the V-speeds all, you know, prim and proper like you'd find, for example, in the Far Aim. And that annoyed me. It annoyed me so much, I actually sat down with my flight instructor and he agreed, yeah, this is kind of annoying. And we went ahead and sat down, and in my actual book, I wrote down, well, we wrote down all of the V-speeds just so they could be here in one little thing that I can look up really quickly and help me actually memorize them, because they're very important when you're flying your plane and you need to know when or when not you are about to stall out and possibly crash and burn. The point of this rant, and of course the point of this video, is that despite the sheer amount of page that you have to trudge through in your flight training, there is a smart, simple way of getting through it. It is not impossible or indeed that horridly difficult to get through all of these tomes. So yes, for engagement, of course, let me know in the comments below if you found any of this helpful to you. I sure hope that some of you enjoy reading more than I do, but for a big dumb troglodyte like me, these are kind of the things that helped me at least get through the first bits of all these books. And another thing, if you do have any tips and tricks for me or other people as to how you got through all of this reading since there are some of you who are probably much further along your aviation journey than I or others. Please let me know. Please let others know in the comments below. So, yeah. With all that said, I thank you for spending this time with me. Here's to your clear skies. Here's to your smooth landings. And until next time, of course, deuces.